Hello everybody, my name is Hello. Welcome back to the series where we're solving Codeforces problems. In Python, in today's episode, we're going to be solving problem 34b. We're doing the A to OJ ladder, by the way. We're doing the problem sale, very simple problem. Let's go and see how we can solve this. Let's read through this problem now. Once Bob got to a sale of old TV sets, got to a sale. There were n TV sets at that sale. TV set with index I costs AI $. So you have a list A and the length of the list is n. And then A of I, ith element will cost A of I. Some TV sets have a negative price. Their owners are ready to pay Bob if he buys their useless apparatus. So basically, there are some TV owners whose TVs are so bad, they want to pay Bob to get the TVs. So Bob can buy any TV sets he wants. Though he's very strong, he can only carry at most M. So the cost doesn't matter, but Bob can only carry at most M TV sets. And he has no desire to go to the sale for a second time. Please help Bob find out the maximum sum of money that he can earn. What does this mean? They're saying Bob is selling some TV sets. The TV sets can either be the price of the TV sets can either be positive, some number can be expensive, it can be 0, or it can be negative. Negative is cases where Bob will basically earn money, correct? And then 0 is, it doesn't really matter to Bob. And then positive is somewhere that he'll be losing money. So they're saying at most M TV sets will be there. Find out the optimum combination that Bob can carry so that he makes the most amount of money. So something to keep in mind here, and this is really the only part of the question that matters. This word here, at most. So Bob is not required to carry M TV sets. Any number below M or equal to M is also okay. That means Bob can go ahead and ignore all positive values for price. And I say this because let's say there's an array of prices. There's 7, 8, 10, 12, 14. Now you might say for Bob to earn the most, he'll just buy one TV set, 7, and then he'll come back home. So what is Bob's net profit? -7. But hear me out. What if Bob does not buy anything and then goes home? But still, that's still at most M only, so it's a lot below M only. Then Bob's net profit now becomes 0, which is greater than -7. Therefore, we will ignore any TV with a positive price. What about 0? Doesn't matter at all whether we keep this or not. Because again, at most M, what is this 0 going to do for us? Then we'll come to this. Negative. These are the TVs that we're supposed to take. Now I'm going to rewrite the same question. I'll say -1, -2, -4, -8 probably, and then -16. Now, say Bob can carry at most 2 TV sets. What sets do you think Bob should carry here? -16 and -8, which will be -24. Now, just if we go and iterate through this list and take any negative value TV, maybe the first 2, then the value will be -9. Maybe the second 2, then it'll be -3. So the optimum combination here would be the least value and then the second least value, which is nothing but, if I sort this list, I will get something like -16, -8, -1, -2, -4, correct? And I'm going to take the first 2 TVs since I can only carry at most 2 TVs. Therefore, my profit will be 24 here. Now, hello, in every case, do I have to carry at most M? As we discussed, that is something that we don't do. So let us discuss 3 cases, and this will be case number 1, Let's go ahead for case number 2. Again, I can carry only 2 TVs, but now my list is something like 1, 2, 3, 4, This is the sorted list, by the way. I can carry at most 2 TVs. So what will I do? Of course, I'll take the first TV and I'll just stop. Because the second TV is a positive number. If I take this also, my total will net profit will only be -7. If I only take this, my profit will be +8. In this case, it'll be +7. Therefore, I earn more money by not taking this TV at all. So what I'm trying to say is, at most M, therefore, I will just take the TVs with negative values sorted until there are no negatives, or M is over. So those are the two cases. So here, I can only carry at most 2, therefore I'll ignore these. Here I only have 1 negative, so I'm going to be ignoring the rest. And this 1 negative is lesser than m. Therefore, that is this case. But hello, you say there are 3 cases. Now you're saying that 2. Well, the third case will be something like this. 2, 3, 4. Now, here, if m is still 2, I can very well go ahead and take this, and my profit will now be 8. If I choose to ignore this one, my profit will still be 8. So this doesn't matter at all whether this is 0 or not, because who cares? If Bob is lifting less TV sets but still earns the same amount of money, that's not going to affect the outcome in any way. Therefore, we will ignore this case altogether. We'll focus on either this or this. 0, whether it comes to this case or whether it goes to that case, it makes no difference at all. Now, if you're able to understand what we're trying to say here, how we're trying to solve this question, and what the solution looks like, you can go ahead and code this on your own. If not, stick around. Let's see what the code looks like. Now, you see that the input, you get n and m as space separated integers, followed by a line that is the list A itself. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take n and m as input first. So list of map of int comma input dot r strip dot split. Okay, then what am I going to do? I'm going to take the list A as an input. So that will be the same thing again. Now, if you don't know what this line means, I suggest you to go to our earlier videos where we have explained what this line means and how that's able to take a list of space separated integers as input. Okay, anyways, I am going to take my total. I'm going to take that as a variable, and I'm going to calculate this total. Now, before that, I told you something that we'll be doing is sorting this list, correct? Now, if you're learning Python, I suggest you to write your own sorting method so that you can kind of practice that also. But if you're in time crunch, if you're doing this for a contest, I'll just say go ahead and do a.sort. Now we have a sorted list. That's great. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to iterate through this sorted list. Maybe I'll do for value in this sorted list. Then I'll say if this value is a negative number, if value is negative. What is this guy's name, by the way? Okay, it's Bob. Bob earns money. Okay, I will just say go ahead and add this to the total. Okay, total plus equal to value. But here we have to make another check, and this should be less than m, correct? So here, actually, for me to go till a, I can do 2 things here. One, I could keep decreasing the m so that every time that this value is added, I can actually reduce the carrying capacity of Bob. So carry capacity will be given by nothing but m. I will just say decrease the carry capacity by 1. Okay, and here I can just simply check, and carry capacity is greater than 0. Okay, because even if it's 1, I can just go ahead and take that. Okay, in that particular case alone, I'll go ahead and add this, and this is the only thing that we actually need. But also, if you want to save computational space, we can just go ahead and terminate this if carry capacity becomes 0. Just break through this loop so that we don't have to loop through the unnecessary iterations any longer, because whether or not we go through there, the carry capacity will be 0. We can't really carry anything. Okay, if that makes sense, I'm going to go ahead and print the total now, and I can just run this. Probably, okay, in this case it says -8, right? But the actual answer is 8, because the total earning is -8, but his earning, that is the cost of the TVs will be -8, but his earning will be 8. Therefore, we have to convert the negative into a positive. Therefore, we'll just do -1 into total. And you can see that the cases have passed now. Maybe I'll just copy and paste this and do a submission so that you guys can see that this is the right answer. I think it should go through. Yeah, it's just running on tests. Maybe I'll cut till that goes through. As you can see, the solution has got accepted. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this video on the problem 34B, which is called sale. I hope this video helped you, the solution helped you. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments so that I can take a shot at answering them. If you have any alternate approaches, you can also leave them down in the comments so that people can help each other out and figure out the different ways you can solve a problem. If this video helped you, hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in another video. Until then, bye.